Welcome to the Member Spotlight for the United States Business Bureau, where trust is our currency. I'm your host, Al Jensen. With us today, Julia Lazareck, founder of Prison, the Hidden Sentence. Welcome to the program, Julia.
Oh, Al, thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Prison, the Hidden Sentence. What in the world is that?
Well, it's not the most sexiest topic, right? It's about prison, and it's about the families on the outside who have loved ones that are in the prison system. So those families that have somebody that's incarcerated, they're serving the sentence with them. The only difference is they're serving it on the outside, and that's why it's called the hidden sentence, because they don't talk about it.
Okay. All right. So you've already answered part of my next question was who do you serve? And I think you answered that well by suggesting that you serve the families who have an incarcerated family member. So tell us, how do you help these families, Julia?
Well, like I just said, it's a hidden sentence. So people that have somebody that's in the prison justice system, in the criminal justice system, a lot of times they don't have anybody to talk to. They don't have anywhere to go. Where do they get the information that they need? I mean, it's like a whole nother world. So Prison, the Hidden Sentence provides information for people, provides podcasts from people that have been through it. I even wrote a book, Prison, the Hidden Sentence. And this book contains everything that I wish I knew when my brother was incarcerated. So it's filled with information and workshops so that when somebody's going through a particular situation, that they can come to the workshops and learn about what to do when somebody's incarcerated, what to do when somebody comes home, and how to keep themselves healthy for themselves and their family members.
Okay. Now I see in your bio that you are from Las Vegas, but do you serve only families in Las Vegas or only in Nevada, or what's your geographical service area?
Oh, that's a great question. Our geographical service area is across the United States, even internationally, because our workshops are online. Our podcasts are on all platforms, and there's people all over the world that listen to the podcasts. And of course, the book, which is in English, which will be translated into Spanish, that's our next goal, will be available to anybody that needs it. So we are definitely helping people across the United States and across the continent.
Okay. Now, I know there's lots of other groups and organizations out there that provide advice and support and help to the inmates themselves, but I got to ask, what makes your organization unique?
Our organization is so unique because people don't think about how incarceration, or when a loved one is on parole or probation, how it affects the family.
Ah,
So there's not a lot of organizations out there, and not a lot of information for the families. So we have coaches that have or had a loved one that was affected. So not only do they have the professional aptitude, but also the experience. And we found that most people would rather talk to a stranger that's been through what they've been through than to a family member. And even if they try, if somebody hasn't been through it, they can't understand.
sure, sure. Now, I interview a lot of people for the United States Business Bureau, and I ask this next question a lot, and I usually know the answer before I even ask it. But in this case, I have to admit, I have no clue where you're going to go with this next question. But the next question is, what in the world inspired you to start providing this service to families with an incarcerated member?
I'd like to say that it inspired me. However, I think it's more of what I've been through. And having a brother that was incarcerated and had a life sentence, and he did serve his life sentence. He passed away in prison.
Hmm.
And after I had time to reflect on it, I realized that I was living the hidden sentence, and I didn't want anybody else to go through that. So I want to provide the information that I wish I had. And that's why we have the podcast and we have the workshops and we have the book so that people can have the information. So when you say what inspired me, I think it was more of what I had been through and not wanting anybody else to have to go through that alone and having what I wish I had at that time.
Sure, sure. Now, you've already answered this next question to a small degree, but I want you to expound upon it a little bit. What are some of the benefits or the takeaways or the results that these families get from utilizing your organization's services?
A lot of times that when somebody is taken into the prison system, the families on the outside, they don't know what to do. So what our organization does is provide that information. We say that reentry starts at day one. Most families don't know that. So how do you prepare the family so that they can support their loved one? So our organization provides so many benefits to people so that they can lead good lives, because there's so much shame and stigma when somebody that you love or somebody in your family is incarcerated, arrested, incarcerated, going to court when they come home. So our organization helps them get through every phase of the process, and mostly so that they can lead healthy lives. It's hard for somebody to enjoy their life when a loved one is suffering. So our group talks to people, provides tools so that they can lead a healthy life, because the healthier the person is, the better they can take care of their loved one, and the closer the family is. And it's so important to keep the family together. And that's what our organization does.
And if I'm reading between the lines and hearing what you're saying, does your service really help minimize the likelihood of that person actually going back to prison after getting out and being in society?
Al, that's a great point, because the healthier the family is and the more support that they have and the more support that they can have for their loved one, when they come home, it's a healthier environment, and that reduces recidivism. That reduces people from going back into the system because they have the support they need when they get out.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you here today. Julia, what motivated you to join the United States Business Bureau?
What motivated me to join the United States Business Bureau is the people that I met and the information they provided. Everybody is just so caring and supportive. It's a very collaborative environment, and I'm very collaborative, and I really like that environment where everybody was there to support each other.
All right. Now I see in your background there, it says prisonthehidden-sentence.com. If anyone who's watching this wants to reach out and talk to you about maybe utilizing your services or learn more about your programming, is that where they would get in touch with you?
Definitely prisonthehidden-sentence.com, or they can email contact@prisonthehidden-sentence.com. And I also have a speakers page on there. So if anybody is interested in learning more for their organization, they can reach out, and I'd be more than happy to come and speak about this, because it is a hidden sentence and I want to unhide it.
Absolutely. Bring it out into the daylight, as they say. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Julia Lazareck. We certainly appreciate it. And thanks to everyone for visiting us at this edition of Member Spotlight. Come back again to learn more about the other members of the United States Business Bureau, where trust is our currency.
Thank you, Al.